We here at The Lead have been covering every angle of this story. We try our best to keep the spotlight on the victims and their recovery. But in trying to figure out just exactly what happened, sometimes, of course, we need to learn more about the suspects. I spoke earlier with Al Aman, who lived in the apartment right below Tamerlan Tsarnaev, and he told me about an intense conversation he had with Tamerlan in a pizza shop just a few weeks before the attacks.
He said that the Bible was a cheap copy of the Quran. He said that the American government used it as an excuse to invade different countries. He mentioned that the American government was still a colonial power, wanting to colonize Africa and the Middle East. And he mentioned that most wars fought in Iraq and most casualties in Iraq and Afghanistan were innocent bystanders gunned down by the American people. When he said that the government justifies invading all these countries with the Quran, kind of retaliated by asking him, what about all these radicals that, these suicide bombers that kill themselves, kill innocent people and say it's, for Allah. And then he said that not all Muslims are like that, and that Islam is all about peace and love.
When did you realize that he was one of the suspects?
Actually, I woke up to the police in my backyard, and then they told me to leave the building, and then they escorted me away. And then one of the police officers showed me a picture of Jakar and asked me if I knew him. And I recognized Jakar. I didn't recognize the older brother.
Were you completely stunned by the news, or?
Yeah. It took me at least a day to actually cope with what actually happened and that I lived underneath them. Couldn't really believe that especially the younger brother was involved. Just did not. I only met him once, but he seemed like a really nice guy. And this is only 2 weeks before everything happened. He was asking about friends. It seemed like he was still interested in his social life. Just did not seem like he had anything planned anything.
Even looking back at that conversation with what you know now, does it seem like he was angry enough to do what he did?
From what my impression with when I had that interaction with him at the pizza shop, I wasn't suspicious afterwards. It just seemed like he strongly believed in his religion and had his disagreements with Christianity and the American government, but he didn't seem different than most people.